Source 2 for CSGO is canceled, it's not canceled. What's going on? Let's find out, guys. So my name's Beckett. Before we get started, if you can hit that subscribe or that like if you enjoy the content, really appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. So earlier this year, we were getting reports that Valve would get a new polish with the Source 2 engine. Ever since Dota 2 started using the Source 2 engine, there's been rumors swirling throughout the CSGO community, wondering when it's going to get ported over the game, when are we going to get a nice polish to the game. Ever since 2018, we've heard that it's been ready, but there's always been one thing holding it back. And that's CSGO's vast library of community content. If you just click on the Steam Workshop for CSGO, it's ridiculous. Right off the bat, you see something like over 100,000 different maps. Nobody in their one lifetime could go through each map, whether it was a new map, an enhanced version of Dust 2, or you're just learning different recoil patterns of each gun. Valve would be put under a daunting task to try to update everything to the new engine. They're just an indie developer, right? We can't put that much stress on them. But in early July, we heard that Source 2 was canceled and all our hearts kind of sank. We were hoping for a new polish, new features, maybe even a couple new mechanics. After that news, I think everyone else assumed that we would just be stuck with Source 1 until a new CSGO game came out. But just recently, Valve released some news saying that it's very possible in an interview that they did that it launches by the end of 2021. So don't get your hopes up. Don't stay awake night waiting for that. But we're going to figure out what that actually means for the game and Counter-Strike in general if they do update to Source 2. Even though it was halted back in May, the build was already ready. CSGO was ready to launch. The only problem they had was the massive library. All the base maps are ready, the weapons, everything's ready to be ported to the new engine. Just a little more work still needs to be required to work out system bugs and porting over community map mates and skins. Now, with everyone getting hyped again with Source 2, but its result may end up being a double-edged sword, and will it even be worth it in the long run? Now, Valve pushed forward the idea that there may be public beta tests for Source 2, which will be nice, but they're saying it may last a year or two just to get rid of a few bugs. So I'm guessing it's not just a few bugs, there's a shitload of bugs in there. As well, they probably won't even bring all the community maps, if any at all. So if there's anything that's old, that people aren't playing the game anymore, are people going to really want to come back and remake it? What's going to happen to any of that at all? So what does Source 2 even entail? Valve has been very hesitant to start the hype train should expectations get too high and the new engine just fail, which I don't blame them for. Too many developers do this all the time. They get the hype train going and they can't stop it. They stated basically, as far as the average player is concerned, we're not really going to notice anything. So if you just play competitive, whether it be at a high level, low level, you just come and play team deathmatch a few games with some friends, you're not really going to be noticing anything new in the engine, and they're not planning on bringing any sweeping changes that are immediately noticeable. I imagine they're just going to kind of creep it in until you're like, okay, oh, it's here. Kind of like YouTube ads, like one's okay, and then all of a sudden we have 15, 20 on a 5-minute video. Now, what changes will we see? We'll probably see some performance changes and just a little bit of polish in the beginning. I doubt they'll start bringing any mechanical changes that would really affect the balance in the game. So almost all the changes, almost pretty much like 100% of the changes, they're not going to be visually, they're not going to be gameplay, but the big changes are going to be for the map makers and other community tools. They're going to receive the biggest upgrade. This is kind of what I'm leaning towards, that we're not going to have any community content out there, that they're just going to give these people all these tools so they can start making new stuff, and we're just going to be left out of dust, and it kind of sucks. But the community in CSGO is fairly dedicated. So I think we're going to see a rebuilding process fairly quick. So anything that you were missing, whether it was aim trainer, any of these certain things, or just certain map or games that you like to play with friends, I think they're going to come back with a passion. I've said this before, but really, I don't think Valve has any intention of upsetting the balance of the game, that they've worked so hard on the competitive side for almost, 10 years? That would be ridiculous just to throw it out with one patch. On the side note, though, they stated that Source 2 is going to be coming to Left 4 Dead 2 before it comes to CSGO, basically to test features out that they're going to implement into Counter-Strike. So get your dust off and get ready to kill some zombies and cry in fear whenever you hear a witch. And we just might have to wait for CSGO 2, which they kind of hinted at being in development. I'm all for with this because CSGO is starting to show its cracks visually compared to its competitors such as Rainbow Six Siege. I would love to see some enhanced mechanics with destructible walls without those overpowered hero abilities. I would not even be opposed to a proper ADS system to meet the current market standards. When CSGO built, the engine just wasn't able to do something like that you see in Call of Duty or Rainbow Six Siege, but this game is a testament to time and just shows how much a properly built shooter can last. That's all we really have now for the new Source 2 engine, and I'm going to keep you guys updated with all the future news. But what are your guys' thoughts? Would you just prefer a new CSGO game and wait 3 or 4 years and happy playing this game? Or would you prefer Source 2 come in now and you're able to beta test it and just get a new polish on the current game? Personally, I side with the new CSGO game, and I say they just scrap updating to the new engine. Counter-Strike lasted this long. I think the community can wait a few more years for a new game instead of losing all that community content. If you made it this long, thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you guys next time.